Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to this webinar called Your Personalized Lists in EqHub, or My IDs. We've set aside about 25 minutes today, which would include questions. Today you'll have to bear with me, Andre Walland. I'm attending on behalf of both myself and Von Even, and I will be taking you through this webinar. So first, the agenda. We'll give you a very quick introduction to this lists feature, and then discuss how it works, discuss share some of the key benefits, and then there will be a Q&A session at the end. And just so you know, this recording, as with every webinar that we do, will be made available immediately after the webinar is concluded. So all of you who have signed up for this, including those who are not attending, will receive a link to watch the webinar. And it will be published on YouTube, our Offshore Norges channels on YouTube on Monday. So first and foremost, just some of the admin here. During this webinar, you might have questions or comments, which is fine. Please use the questions feature that you will see in your lower right corner. There's also a chat function, but any questions you have, please address them in the questions feature. So welcome. Yes. So what are these lists? In April 2025, we released a new feature called My IDs. This is a feature that allows all users in EqHub to create and customize and share own lists of EqHub IDs. You can use this list for your own purpose. You don't have to share them with anyone, but you have that option. So we consider this as an extension of the existing reporting features that we have, or export and reporting features. These lists then are custom for your own purpose, for whatever need you have. It could be making procurement lists, recommendations, proposals, offers, etc., etc. And as I said in the beginning, this is a feature that is available to every single user with access to EqHub. So how does it work? First, you will find this feature on your top feature banner when you log into EqHub under the section called My IDs. Again, available for every single user. Here is a screenshot of an example list. For example, for a frame agreement, it would be could be beneficial for the user to create a list of all applicable equipments within that frame agreement for a specific supplier or for more than one. This is again back to the freedom that you have when you make these lists. Another example could be a list of made from a supplier, perhaps, what is relevant for the supplier or the manufacturer in relation to delivery, project delivery, upcoming, ongoing, historical. Options are many. And I apologize for the poor image quality here. I will demonstrate in the solution as well how these lists can be made shortly. Last example, for example, for a package responsible buyer or an engineer, it would potentially be beneficial to have a list of all IDs representing an ongoing package, an ongoing delivery. And this would allow the users, the engineers, buyers, whoever, to have an overview of the status on those IDs over time. So, for example, in the beginning, it could be that most of them or half of them are not approved yet, but this example shows, for example, that all of them have been approved. So it allows you to monitor your package then in relation to verification statuses and quality statuses in EqHub for that particular package. So now let me see. Before I go into benefits, I will share how to make these lists. So bear with me here. So in this example here, again showing you the feature here. I'll try to zoom in a bit more as well to make it more clear. So under My IDs, you have this interface here. And in this example, I already have 3 lists made. I can choose to create a new one. Let's say demo list. I can also choose to make this list my default. When you first create a list, you will have that one ticked off automatically. Yeah, let's say I want to make this my default list, meaning that any ID I add will be suggested added to my default going forward, which I can change at any time, by the way. So here it goes. Here's my default demo list. Now it's empty, as you can see. There's nothing here, but I want to add some IDs. So let's say I'm looking for yes, I can have a, maybe I'm interested in Vallan. This one, and this one. I'm adding 4 IDs here for some reason. Proceeding to manage these. It's telling me now that you're about to add these 4. Yes, I want to. I could add these to several existing lists, or I'm just choosing to use the demo list. Save. Here's my list. And now you will see, maybe I have to zoom out a bit. You see all the associated information in this list here. Parts, when it was added, if it has any restricted documents, the number of documents associated with this ID, its verification status, etc., etc. I can choose to remove one of these IDs. That was very quick, as you can see, and I can go back and add a different one. Or I can most typically you would know the ID you're looking for here, or yeah, and I will add this one. So just like that, this one has also been added. If I go back to this overview here, I can see an export feature, which would generate an Excel list or dump of this record. I can also choose to copy this one to make a version of it, or just a straight up copy. I can choose to delete the whole thing. I can also choose to share this one. And now my colleague is not right here, not here right now. But let's say I want to share this with Honedum. Or maybe and that has been shared. And now my colleague then would receive an email saying that I have shared this list with him, and he can open and get into EqHub and see the same list. So yes, that's the very short demo I've prepared for you today. I will now go back to my presentation. So what are the benefits? We don't have all the benefits here. There's many use cases. It's up to you, right? But we try to highlight at least a couple per main user group. So for example, for a supplier or a manufacturer, someone providing data into EqHub, creating a list like this could be done per project, and the supplier could share this with the customer. So both of them will be able to follow up the status of that of those IDs, one or several, quickly and easily, without having to go and look up each and every one individually. So it gets both parties on the same page very quickly and efficiently. For operators, for example, they could potentially create a list of all relevant EqHub IDs in a certain frame agreement, and they could share that with all participants in the project, be it internal, external, you name it. Yeah, and then this would allow those that have received this list or have where the list has been shared with to access the same information. So that again, you can be on the same page with what IDs we are talking about here in the project context of a frame agreement. For a contractor, as I mentioned earlier in the examples, for example, a package responsible engineer could create a list for their one or several packages and easily follow up the status of these, easily contact the supplier in relation to something on that list not being complete, going back to the verification statuses and so on. And yeah, you can do one per supplier. You can have multiple suppliers per list, multiple packages per list, or one package per list. This is entirely up to you as a user. So we encourage you to play around with this feature now and see and try to explore how to use this. So Q&A. I'm now going to open the question section here. And Einar Mæland, you're asking, is it possible to change which info columns to be displayed in the list view, adding, for instance, description field? There are certain improvements now on this list feature already in the works, and I believe that description is going to be a hard-coded column. Over time here, we will also look at making the users be able to add custom columns as well. This applies to other parts of EqHub as well, not just this list feature. But yeah, the answer is yes. And shortly, you will be able to see description as well in this feature and overview. Let's see. Yeah, I have no other questions, it seems. So if there are no other questions, thank you for your time. This is a very short and sweet webinar. There will be a follow-up one here in August, as you may know. So thanks for your time. See you then, and have a good rest of the week. Thank you very much.